Have you ever been in a language class and wondered, why are we doing this exercise? You feel like you're just going through the motions, but you don't really get the reason behind it? Well, that's a super common feeling. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the Academia BSB method. We're going to dive into the why behind their whole approach and see how every single piece is designed to build a clear, confident path to fluency. So here's the plan. First, we'll look at the foundation of the method. Then we'll check out the main guide you'll be using, the class notes. After that, we'll see the tools that bring it all to life, talk about the huge role you play in your own learning, and then wrap it all up to see the full journey to fluency. Ready? Let's go. All right, let's kick things off with section 1, the foundation. Just like a strong house needs a solid foundation, a really effective learning method needs a solid base. And the entire Academia BSB approach, it's built on a standard that's recognized all over the world. Let's see what that is. It's called the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, or CEFRL for short. Now, just think of this as the international gold standard for learning a language. This isn't some random system the school made up. It's a global benchmark. It means your progress is clear, it's measurable, and it's understood anywhere you go. So whether you're at an A2 level, handling basic conversations, or you're pushing for C1 to handle complex work situations, you know exactly where you stand. But a framework is just a structure. The real heart of this method is a core belief, and this quote just nails it. The goal isn't just to know a bunch of grammar rules, it's to actually use the language. It's about moving beyond just memorizing stuff and actually building real, confident communication skills for your real life. So, to reach that goal, you need a guide, right? A kind of personalized map for your own journey, and that is exactly where the central tool of this whole methodology comes in, the class notes. And these class notes are really the engine of the method. They're so much more than just a summary of the lesson. They're a super detailed record of everything. We're talking vocabulary, grammar, idioms, pronunciation. But more importantly, they have dedicated practice for all 4 of the core skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. This makes sure you're getting a really well-rounded development. And what's really cool is how these notes are made. They aren't just one teacher's quick summary. Nope. They're actually a collaboration between your teacher in the classroom and the school's pedagogical coordinators. This 2-layer approach makes sure everything is perfectly aligned with those high CEFRL standards while also being flexible enough to fit what you, the individual student, actually need. Okay, so now we get that the class notes are our guide. So let's look at the tools you'll use to turn all those concepts into actual practical skills. This is really where the theory hits the road. Let's talk about grammar. I know. Some people get a little nervous about it, but here it's seen as the backbone of the language. And that's such a great way to put it. It gives you the structure you need to communicate clearly and effectively. Without it, things can kind of fall apart. But here's the key difference. Instead of just memorizing a list of rules out of context, the Academia BSE method is all about putting grammar into real-life situations. This helps you understand not just what the rules are, but how and why they work, so you can start using them naturally when you speak and write. And you can see that connection right here. There's a really clear explanation of a grammar point, like countable and uncountable nouns. And then you see how these points are all structured logically. The big takeaway is that every single piece of theory is immediately tied to practical exercises. You learn it, then you use it. It really helps solidify the concept right away. And the goal is always practical application. The materials aren't just for learning English, they're for using English. That's why you'll see activities specifically designed to build the exact skills you need for real-world challenges, like, say, passing one of those big international certification exams. Okay, this brings us to a really critical part of the process, your active role. We've seen the method, we've seen the tools, but honestly, that's only half the equation. Let's look at the specific tasks you'll be responsible for, and more importantly, why each one is so essential for you to make progress. So when you're asked to review vocabulary, it's not just busy work. This little 3-step process, review, research, and then clarify, it forces you to actively engage with the material. It helps move those words from your short-term memory into your long-term memory. And that is absolutely crucial if you want to remember them and use them fluently. And check out this writing process. It's a cycle. You write, you get feedback, and then you rewrite. So why do it this way? Because this loop systematically makes you a better writer. It's not about being perfect the first time. It's about learning how to refine your arguments, improve your structure, and get your ideas across with more and more clarity each time you revise. And for listening skills, this guided audio-visual practice is so smart. Watching the first time with subtitles helps you connect the sounds you're hearing to the words on the screen. Then, watching it again without them really tests your comprehension. The worksheet and discussion make sure you didn't just hear the words, but that you actually understood the context and the meaning. It's such a powerful way to train your ear for real-world English. So as we start to bring all these pieces together, a really clear picture starts to form. Reaching fluency isn't something the school just does for you. It's something you achieve with the school. It is a true partnership. This chart just says it all, doesn't it? It crystallizes that whole idea of partnership. The school provides the structured method, that's 40%, and the quality tools, that's 20%. But look at your part. The student's active participation, it's a full 40% of success. This shows that your engagement isn't just helpful, it's a non-negotiable, co-equal part of this journey. Your effort is just as vital as the curriculum itself. By understanding the why behind every exercise, every assignment, every step, you're no longer just following instructions. You're actively participating in a process that's proven to work. So the only real question left is, are you ready to transform every one of these carefully designed steps into a giant leap on your path to fluency?